All right, let's get right into it. If you're getting ready to use a VA loan in Fayetteville, North Carolina for 2026, there's one question that's probably at the top of your mind. What's this appraisal really going to cost me? Well, today we're going to give you the exact numbers, no fluff. And boom, there's your answer. For a standard VA appraisal in Fayetteville, you're going to want to budget somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 to $1,100. That's the bottom line. But, and this is a big but, the story doesn't just stop there. So you're probably looking at that range and thinking, wow, that's pretty specific. And you're right. This price isn't just something an appraiser pulls out of a hat. It's not based on what they feel like charging you that day. No, it's all tied to a very specific set of rules. So let's dig into where this number actually comes from. Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle is knowing that Fayetteville isn't just like any other city. When it comes to VA appraisals, it's kind of special. And it all boils down to something the VA calls the high demand factor. So what in the world is a high demand county? Well, it's an official label from the VA. They basically flag counties where the housing market is super active, there's a ton of appraisals happening, and things are moving fast. And yep, you guessed it, Cumberland County, where Fayetteville is on that list. This one little designation is the absolute key to understanding the cost. So why should you care about this fancy label? Well, it hits you in a few ways. First, it means the VA allows for higher maximum fees, plain and simple. Second, and this might surprise you, the standard turn time can actually be a bit longer. We're talking up to 10 business days, just because of the sheer volume. And finally, it means you're in a market with more competition for the really good, experienced VA appraisers. So if the VA is calling the shots on the high demand status, it makes sense that they'd have an official price list to go with it, right? Exactly. This isn't guesswork. Let's pull back the curtain on the official fee schedule. This is your price guide. And here are the numbers in black and white. This chart comes straight from the folks at the VA. So for a regular single-family home or a condo in Fayetteville, the max fee is $800. A manufactured home, that's $850. And if you're buying a duplex or even a fourplex, that number jumps up to $1,100. The most important word to remember here is maximum. An appraiser cannot legally charge you a penny more in Cumberland County. Okay, we've talked a lot about the how much. Now let's get into the what for. What are you actually getting for that money? Let me tell you, it is way more than just someone taking a quick stroll through the house. Think of the appraiser as having 4 key missions. First, they're like a detective, inspecting the property inside and out, checking out its condition. Then they put on their market analyst hat, digging into what similar homes, what we call comps, have sold for recently. Third, they verify all the little details, square footage, number of rooms, you name it. And finally, and this is huge for a VA loan, they're on the lookout for any safety or structural problems that the VA requires to be fixed before you can close. All right, let's bring it all home with some real-world budgeting tips. We've got to cover a few final factors and, of course, the million-dollar question. Who's actually cutting the check for this thing? This makes it super clear. If you're buying a house, 9 times out of 10, that fee is on you, the buyer. It just gets rolled into your closing costs. Now, of course, a good negotiator might get the seller to help out. But if you're refinancing the home you already own, well, that bill is almost always going to be yours. So let's boil it all down to a simple rule of thumb for your 2026 budget in Fayetteville. For a standard house or condo, just plug in $800. For a manufactured home, pencil in $850. And if you're looking at a multifamily property, budget for $1,100. These are the safe, realistic numbers you can work with. And that brings us right to our final thought. You are now fully prepped. You know exactly what to expect for that VA appraisal fee in Fayetteville. But remember, the appraisal is just one piece of a much bigger financial puzzle. So the real question is, now that you're ready for this cost, are you prepared for all the other closing costs that are coming right along with it?